All right. So, Johnny, you found out what was happening. You now know that you have proof, and there you are. So it gives you freedom because now you're completely decided that this is over. She's not the one for you. You've acknowledged that your dad totally understood, that he had the right advice. What's next? Like, what happened next?
I mean, there was no strategy for next.
Yeah.
The next step is just trying to figure out what you're gonna do after this. You know, the aftermath.
So what are some of the emotions or some of the things that you went through?
There is the anxiety of waiting for it to be over. You know, because at this point, well, you want it just to be over. You want this date, whatever date is set for that final signing and sayonara to happen, so that you can legally be free of any encumbrances or any loose ends. You want loose ends tied up. You want to be free. That is what you're looking for. I think that's the only thing you're looking for at that time, is that
closure.
That closure. You know, the one day they were like, hey, it's stamped, done, and you're out, and you walk out knowing that it's over. That's what you're looking for, is the over day, when they say it's over. You're looking for something after that? After that, I guess it's rediscovery of what your new life looks like. You know, there's it depends, you know, how deep you've been in a marriage, how your rediscovery is going to play out. Because the longer you're in a marriage, I think the deeper the rediscovery, because, I mean, you're just so used to one thing for so long that you get lost in who you used to be, who you became after marriage, and who you're going to be after a divorce. I mean, there's no, I don't think there's any telling of, you know, what the future entails after a divorce, because I don't think anybody knows.
Would you do anything differently, or would you do everything the same?
I am me, and I wouldn't be able to do anything differently, because I am who I am, and I'm not going to change for anybody. You know, my partner took me as I am, and she accepts me as I am. And if, you know, by God's will, if it fails, I will be who I am after I'm divorced. So I handle my marriage, my current marriage, the best way I can. You know, honestly and with integrity. I hold my wife in high regard, with a high level of respect. We all make mistakes. You know, things happen. You apologize. You address things in an honest manner to make sure there's trust in a relationship. But that's all you can do. That's all you can do, is throw yourself all in, 100%. Be honest. Trust your partner until the day that partner fails. Is I trust you 100% until the day you prove me wrong. That day, I will make a decision based on the situation. And if it's an exit strategy, it is an exit strategy. But I will not live in fear of an unfaithful partner. I don't do that. I don't do that. I live 100% committed and trusting of my partner.
What was it like for you after that? What was the emotional roller coaster that you talked about?
The first 6 months are the critical, the critical months of a divorce.
Yeah,
where all the emotions are sparking. You know, they're spiking out of control.
Yeah,
because it's just a very uncertain time in people's lives.
So you said guilty. You said anxiety,
anxiety, anger, severe anger.
What was the anger stage like for you?
The anger was bad. There was a lot of drinking. I drank a lot. Drinking to try to suppress the anger and the depression, the anxiety, the uncertainty. It was a roller coaster of emotions, dude. You know, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and drugs and alcohol would suppress that temporarily, but the next day you'd wake up with the same shit going on, and it was a vicious cycle. Drugs and alcohol in the afternoon after sleeping, after not going to sleep until 2 a.m. because you're restless, and then passing out, and then waking up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because you're depressed.
So what's causing the anger? Is it the drugs, or is it you? Were you avoiding?
No, yeah, I think I was just avoiding reality. I was avoiding reality. That's exactly what it was.
Did it work?
No, of course not. It doesn't work. That's just it's a defense mechanism, I guess, that we play out or we attempt to use as a tool. I can't tell you that I do things differently because I don't know. You can't.
But if you had the choice today
Correct,
to do things
yeah,
differently,
yeah.
like if you're looking at
Of
it,
course.
you know what I
Of
mean? Like if
course,
you were
yes.
coaching that earlier version of yourself.
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely. I'd give advice to seeking some type of therapy. Therapy is good, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to a therapist. I've seen psychiatrists. I've seen therapists to help me with my relationship, to help me with my, whatever anxiety I'm dealing with at the moment. And having somebody to talk to is super important. If you don't have anybody to talk to, you're gonna have a hard time coping. Coping is a big thing. That is the ultimate term, coping. How you cope with a traumatic experience or a life-changing or life-altering scenario is the way you deal with it. And usually somebody's mind is not apt to deal with a certain situation. So you should look to someone that can help you figure out a way to cope with that situation. Because if you do it on your own, I mean, you're going to go through a very hard time. I've seen therapists obviously way later in life for other scenarios in my life to help me cope with other situations. And now I realize that if I would have had somebody to talk to regarding my divorce, it probably would have helped me a lot on how I handled my affairs, and handled the coping with every stage of those first few months of divorce. Therapy is a very important part. Talking to somebody. Not even therapy, just talking to somebody. Talking to somebody that knows and that can advise you wholeheartedly. Not as a professional. Talking to people. Hey, dude, I'm going through this. People that have gone through it before. And listening to multiple stories. Not just, not necessarily a therapist. People who have gotten divorced before. Hey, what was your story like? How did your divorce play out? What happens? People that are willing to share that with you. I'm sure you're going to find few handfuls of people that have gotten divorced around you that you don't even know. Those people will tell you the real story. And you can take a dab of this one, a dab of that one, and they all make up your entire story.
Divorce isn't the end, it's your new beginning. Join Divorce the First 6 Months on Patreon for informative episodes, expert advice, and supportive resources. Visit patreon.com/divorce the first 6. Learn what to expect from the divorce process